Has the Silver Surfer gone full-on woke, or are people just sensitive to headlines? According to the quote-unquote anti-woke mob, Silver Surfer has only confirmed their idea that the MCU is becoming the MCU. The problem is that people just need to take a moment and look past the headlines and actually understand what the information is telling them. This is an article by Inside the Magic, which is just as disingenuous as the people that it's criticizing. So this is an article obviously titled Anti-Woke Mob Criticizes Marvel for Silver Surfer Casting Choice. Now, most of the article is going through talking about the success of the MCU, some of the history about the Fantastic Four, including the previous films, the two made by Fox in the mid-2000s and the one made in 2015, which was terrible. And then a little bit about potential casting for the four main characters. But the main point of the article is based off of a tweet by MCU insider, My Time to Shine Hello, who I've heard of before, but I've never validated whether or not they are actually, whether or not their rumors are true or if they're just rumors. The Silver Surfer in 2000's Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer became an iconic villain to many moviegoers with his eye-catching all-silver body. According to a new report from known a Hollywood and Marvel Studios insider, My Time to Shine Hello, however, it appears that the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot, set within the Marvel Cinematic Universe continuum, will have one key difference from the 2007 film and even the Marvel Comics origin, being a female instead of a male. They go on to say, in the Marvel Comics, Galactus, known as the Devourer of Worlds, is a cosmic entity with the insatiable appetite to consume entire planets. To aid him in his cosmic task, Galactus selects beings to serve as his heralds. These heralds are bestowed with a fraction of Galactus' immense power, granting them superhuman abilities and enhancing their physical and mental attributes. Notable heralds include the Silver Surfer Norrin Radd, who rebelled against his master and became a hero, Terrax the Tamer, who controlled the Earth, Nova, Frankie Raye, a former human with fiery powers, and Airwalker, Gabriel Lan, a resurrected warrior with control over the air. This report names the Fantastic Four villain as Galactus' herald, which most likely indicates the Silver Surfer being a prominent Fantastic Four nemesis, meaning that Marvel Studios would be switching the character's gender. Naturally, members of the public have had many thoughts on this reported casting choice, with users like Breaking57 calling the decision unbelievable and more woke, claiming that Marvel Studios would go bankrupt. The classic MCU moniker is also being bandied about, a term used by the same group of people who believe Marvel Studios is heading for ruin by including more women in major superhero roles. That's a very disingenuous and oversimplistic way of framing that argument, and I think it makes the writer of the article look bad, not the people that it's trying to criticize. Now, the funny part is that the headline is obviously clickbait, and throughout the article it's trying to imply that the Silver Surfer is in fact being gender swapped so that it will align with the comments from Twitter that the article is attempting to criticize. But then they also multiple times throughout the article prove that there's no definitive information saying that the gender swap is applying to the Silver Surfer, and that the Silver Surfer might not even be the herald that's going to be in this film. But this Twitter user, @AlexTheAlien, correctly states that Galactus has had multiple heralds. This doesn't mean Silver Surfer is a woman, guys, which supports what the article itself has said. It says others were also ready to call out the misogyny apparent in many comments, like Char something, noting how comics have always included diverse characters, not just white men, in response to user Miguel Madrigal's seeming disdain for this gender switch casting, which doesn't make any sense. Correctly stating that there have been diverse characters in the history of Marvel is not an argument against the criticism of gender swapping. In fact, I think it's an argument in support of the criticism. If you're acknowledging that there have always been diverse characters in Marvel, then what is the justification for gender and race swapping characters? The article ends saying, at the end of the day, whether it ends up being Norrin Radd, Silver Surfer, or Frankie Raye Nova as the main adversary for this Marvel Universe's Fantastic Four team, Marvel Studios is certainly going to try to ensure that their biggest remaining superhero team and franchise outside the X-Men is a resounding success. I hope it is, but articles like this aren't helping the atmosphere around the upcoming film. Now, what this article does is it plays into the fact that people on both sides of these kind of arguments are incredibly sensitive to the culture war stuff, and more often than not, I would say in my experience, people don't know anything about the source material. They just latch on to headlines that they can bitch about. The people complaining that this is obviously woke, even though it doesn't say anything specific about the Silver Surfer, tells me that they aren't aware of the fact that Galactus has had multiple heralds. He's had like 12 to 13 heralds throughout the history of Marvel Comics. One of the most popular ones is Frankie Raye, a woman, also known as Nova, not the Richard Rider, version of Nova from the Nova Corps. She just calls herself Nova as her herald name. But Frankie Raye has been in the comics since the 70s. She was the adopted daughter of Phineas T. Horton, the creator of the original Human Torch from the 30s. She was accidentally doused in chemicals that created the original Human Torch, got his powers. She started dating the new Human Torch from the Fantastic Four, started hanging out with their team, met Galactus, and decided to become his herald. So she's been around for a long time. And there was sort of another female herald called Stardust, but they were called a he and a she throughout time. So I don't think I don't think it necessarily is a woman, because Stardust was originally from a race of incorporeal energy beings that didn't have a gender. So I guess it doesn't really count, which means you could really just say there was only one female herald, but still there was a female herald. Now, where I disagree with the potential casting choice is that I think they should have the Silver Surfer in the first film and Frankie Raye in the next film. I know that Kevin Feige has said that they want to do different things than what's been done before, but I think that's stupid. The MCU has made something really special with this giant shared universe with all these different characters interacting. And it'd be a complete waste to not use certain characters and certain key moments in a character's history just because someone else has already done it, because you can do it better. The MCU's success has shown that they can do superheroes better than anyone else. So, have Silver Surfer in the first film. At the end of the first film, have him be inspired by the Fantastic Four to leave the side of Galactus, become his own independent hero, and then either in the next film or in between, Frankie Raye becomes the new Herald. And so you can have her be the Herald for years, because she'll probably be CGI, and so whatever actress portrays her mainly just needs to show up to do the voice. They don't have to appear in person, so it doesn't matter how much they age. They can play Frankie Raye for decades if they wanted to. Whereas Silver Surfer, you could show him as a herald in the first movie, and then from then on, he can be an independent hero on Earth. So you'd have this cool, powerful, cosmic character on Earth who could appear in other MCU films and television series. This is somewhat similar to the Captain Marvel situation, not with the gender swapping part, even though that was annoying too, but in the fact that they made the movie focus on Carol Danvers, because they had the original Mar-Vell in the movie, and they gender swapped Mar-Vell. But the funny part about gender swapping her to make her a female role model for Carol is that they did nothing with the character. Mar-Vell was an enormously popular character when he was alive. They killed him off, and they've allowed Mar-Vell to be one of those characters that they don't bring back to life. He has been resurrected temporarily a couple times, but he's never been back for good. And so I get that the general movie-going audience wouldn't have known who Mar-Vell was, but they probably wouldn't have known who Carol Danvers was either. And it was silly to, one, not focus on Mar-Vell for the first film, but then two, go to Carol Danvers, who is like the fifth person to take on Captain Marvel after Mar-Vell, Monica Rambeau, Genus Vell, Phyla Vell, and I think there might have even been another person in there somewhere. But it'd be a similar thing here. Like, Silver Surfer was the first herald mentioned in Marvel Comics, but later on they added in a character called the Fallen One, who was the actual first herald. So to skip ahead and go to Frankie Raye, who was, I think, the seventh herald, I don't know, that kind of stuff just bothers me, because especially with CGI characters, there's no reason you can't do all of them over time if you wanted. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. Thanks for watching.